Hi, I'm Jim Bellacera with Josh Becker and Tshaka Armstrong.
Yep.
Got it. We've been talking for 3 days, but when you have a first name of Tshaka and you're afraid to say it because you're going to butcher it, you know what I mean. Anyway, I met these gentlemen as a direct result of dads talking.
That's right.
And what a great concept. You know, here I am, I'm a father of two, and you know, I'm all about anything we can do to help each other and so forth. And they've got this show, and here, this is a really unique thing. I'm just going to say a little bit about how they met, and then I'm going to let these guys talk about it. But the power of the internet and the power of really, you know, embracing it and using it for your future. These guys and their other partners met on Twitter, right?
Yeah, that's right. We met on Twitter. Yeah.
So they met on Twitter, and then, but he's got a cool story, because 16 years ago, he actually met his wife online.
Yeah, it's. I didn't realize I had so many connections to the internet until recently. You know, I started talking to people, and I think, wow, you know what? My whole life has been really shaped by the internet. And 16 years ago, back in the mid '90s, I was on a gateway computer that had a 120 megahertz processor, 16 mega RAM, and a 1.6 gigabyte hard drive, way less than a fraction of what my iPhone has now. I was in an internet chat room, and I met my my now wife, and we were chatting back and forth. This was before the invention of digital cameras, and so we didn't even know what we looked like. And we actually wound up mailing each other pictures. And I was actually in Baltimore, where I'm originally from, and she was in California. And I came out a year later, and we're married. We have 2 babies.
So if you embrace, and now see, because of social media, I know you guys.
Yep.
And you know each other.
That's the way it works.
So Tshaka, tell me a little bit how you got involved, because I know that you're kind of the media guy for this whole gig, but obviously you're passionate about it. So talk to me about it.
Well, when I first had children, about 14 years ago, I was a pretty young father. I was 20 years old, and I was I was a family guy from day one. I mean, before I had a family. And so it was very difficult to find other young men my age who wanted to do things like take your kids to the park, take your kids to a game, do things like that. So from my own kind of isolation, I always sought to try to connect dads. I always sought to try to hook up with other dads and just enjoy being fathers. And so since I didn't really have that when I was younger, I've always kind of been a cheerleader for that as I've gotten older. And over the years, I have connected with other dads and hung out and done some awesome things. But then when we were online, I have a nonprofit that brought me to Twitter. And so I was promoting my nonprofit through my website and Twitter, but I also saw there were other guys on there. And so, you know, like a moth to a flame, I was on that. I was like, ooh, I want to connect with some of these other guys and talk fatherhood. And so I started doing that. I met Genuine, at Genuine, Jim Turner, on Twitter first, and then Josh and Adam Cohen, our partners, and this Dads Talking thing just kind of formed organically. It was a bunch of dads on Twitter talking to each other and having to reply each other, and finally they got tired and said, I'm tired of having to reply all you guys. How can we all just chat without having to do that all the time? And then they discussed a hashtag, and they're like, you know, went through a couple choices, and finally they landed on Dads Talking. Well, Jim Turner, Genuine, had already registered the website, dadstalking.com. He got involved, and this thing just grew organically. It was 4 guys.
So what you're saying is that was already taken as a URL,
Yeah.
and you guys came up with the hashtag on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a complete coincidence. In fact, we were having a chat about Speedos and boxers. You know, I was saying guys should never wear Speedos. You know, it's that kind of thing. And actually,
I'm going to get ready.
we had a lot of fun. I took a picture of of my my butt and my jeans and said, "Hey guys, you like this?" And we were just
getting a little bit too risque here.
Kind of funny. We having a great time though. It was a lot of fun, and we said, you know, we got to keep this thing going, just like Tshaka said. And we had this, we got this hashtag going, and Jim had the URL, Jim Turner, like Tshaka just mentioned, and we said, well, maybe we should ask Jim if we can use the hashtag. He didn't have a website up. And he said, oh, I was thinking about starting an online community myself. And we said, great, we'll just, let's just tie it in. And the 4 of us, we saw just some really unique personalities in the 4 of us and thought we could really blend well together. And just as Tshaka said, we kind of formed right there on Twitter, and that's where we were born.
You know, I got to say something. I've only known these gentlemen for almost 3 days. And if that, 2.5 days. And extremely social, totally want to connect with other people, and And the mindset, I think, for me, years ago was that, if somebody was online, they were more introverted than extroverted. And it's just quite the opposite, actually. I mean, before I really understood, that you were part of this, we've been friends literally the whole time. I mean, literally from the time I walked in, you reached out to me, and you nonstop, we've been talking and just having a good time in our communication, not even realizing that you're actually part of the foursome here. So it's cool. Anything you want to comment about the future of where you're going with Dad's Talking?
Well, I see the future of Dad's Talking. I think as a group, we kind of see the future as being able to be facilitators, connectors, cheerleaders, to facilitate men connecting and venting and laughing and crying and sharing our personal narrative, to connect groups who want to support fathers, like there's Strong Fathers, which is a phenomenal group, and connect them with our community, which is really the community, because nobody owns it. It's like the land, nobody owns this. It's natural, it's organic. So to connect those people, those groups with the community, and then to just be able to be a support system in general and change the stereotypes, change pop culture. We want people to know that dads are not Homer Simpsons and Al Bundys. There's a lot more depth to us. We're not,
We love our children.
we love our children. We don't have to choke them like, Homer, and we love, there's some of us who actually are recharged by and enjoy our families.
So to make this as brief as possible, I want you to repeat the URL and the hashtag, okay?
So we are www.dadstalking.com, or you could say dadstalking.com, and our hashtag is just #dadstalking.
Got it. Thank you very much, both of you.